Hi everyone, this is Bipin Kumar, founder of RPM Tutorials. Welcome to my channel. We were talking about quadratic equation in my last 2 or 3 videos. Let's talk about equations which can be reduced to quadratic equations. Let's take this example, the first one, where 5 under bracket 4x minus 1 upon 2x plus 5 minus 3 under bracket 2x plus 5 upon 4x minus 1 is equal to 15. Okay. If you carefully notice, this term 4x minus 1 upon 2x plus 5 is getting repeated here, but in inverse order. Okay. So this kind of equation we can convert into quadratic equations. Let's see the approach what we do. Let us assume that 4x minus 1 upon 2x plus 5 is equal to y. Okay. Then the equation turns into 5 times y minus 3 upon y, because 1 by y will be equal to 2x plus 5 upon 4x minus 1, and that will be equal to 15. If you extend this, you will get 5y square minus 3 upon y is equal to 15, which then transforms to 5y square minus 3 is equal to 15y, or you can write 5y square minus 15y minus 3 is equal to 0. Okay. So this equation now gets converted into quadratic equation in terms of y. Once you are able to solve this quadratic equation for y, you will have to go to this first step, and from y you need to convert into x, and you have to find the value of x. That is how you solve this equation. Okay. Let's take another example. Second example, that is x to the power 4 minus 3x square plus 2 is equal to 0. In this case, we can take x square is equal to y. So then this equation gets transformed to y the whole square, because x square the whole square will be x to the power 4 minus 3y plus 2 is equal to 0. Again, it is a quadratic equation. You can solve this quadratic equation in any of the 3 methods, by any of the 3 methods which we have discussed earlier. Okay. Let's try working the third option. It appears a bit complicated, but once you start looking into it, it will not be that complicated. Let's take this example. The third one, z raised to the power 2 by 3 plus z raised to the power 1 by 3 minus 2 is equal to 0. In this case, let's take z raised to the power 1 by 3 is equal to x. So that is our first assumption. Let z to the power 1 by 3 equal to x. If that is the case, then this equation, understand that z to the power 2 by 3 can be written as z to the power 1 by 3 square, because z to the power m raised to the power n will be z to the power m into n, which will be 2 into 1 by 3, that is equal to 2 upon 3. Okay. So using this, we can then write this equation as x to the power, or let me write this way so that it becomes clearer. So this equation we can write this as z to the power 1 by 3 the whole square, which will be z to the power 2 by 3 plus z to the power 1 by 3 minus 2 is equal to 0. Now if we take z to the power 1 by 3 as x, then this becomes x square plus x minus 2 is equal to 0. This is again a quadratic equation, and this quadratic equation, if we have to solve, we can solve with any method. But let's try solving it with the factorization method. So I can write x square plus 2x minus x minus 2 is equal to 0. Or we can write x under bracket x plus 2, taking x common factor out of it, taking minus 1 out of it, it will be x plus 2, and that will be equal to 0, and therefore x minus 1 into x plus 2 will be equal to 0. From this we can conclude that either x minus 1 is equal to 0 or x plus 2 is equal to 0, and this leads to x is equal to 1 or x is equal to minus 2. Now be sure that you have to find z, not x. So you'll have to come back to this equation and then you need to transform it into z. Now we know that x is equal to z to the power 1 by 3. So I can write z to the power 1 by 3 will be equal to 1, and from that I can say that z will be equal to 1 to the power 3, and that will be leading to z is equal to 1. So this is one solution. Likewise, we can take x, in place of x I can write z to the power 1 by 3, and that is equal to minus 2. If I do the cube both sides, then this will be z and this will be minus 2 raised to the power 3. Minus 2 raised to the power 3 will lead to z is equal to, z is equal to minus 8. So there are two solutions. One, z is equal to 1, and another, z is equal to minus 8. We should always have a tendency to check whether our answers are correct or not. So if I put z equal to 1 in this original equation, then LHS will be equal to z being 1 to the power 2 by 3 plus z being 1 to the power 1 by 3 minus 2, and this will be equal to 1 plus 1 minus 2, which is equal to 0, which is equal to RHS. Likewise, we can check with minus 8 also, and we should be getting LHS equal to 0, which will be RHS, and that proves that our solution is correct. Okay, so this is how you can reduce certain equations to quadratic equation. Okay, with these three examples, it would have been very clear to you how to reduce certain equations in the form of quadratic equations. Thank you very much.